This is amazing. This is what happens when you
Oh,
know
I know. I have
when
to
you're
keep
seconds
my
away
makeup.
about to start. You know what I mean? Look at you. Look at you. Oh
We're
my
scrambling.
God.
They're all
Sorry, guys. Oh
scrambling.
my
Are
God,
we
my
all
makeup is all
scrambling?
Everybody's
messed up.
scrambling. I'm not scrambling. No.
I have. Oh my gosh.
Good
Hey.
It's all
morning.
good though. It's all good.
Oh.
It's that kind of
We are
week. It's
here.
that kind of week.
It's Friday, setting up for this real estate live
Yes,
event.
sir.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Speaking of
Buenos
events,
dias.
did you guys go to
Yep.
the? Of course, you went to the
Yeah, we
City Field
did.
event.
That was a fun one. That was super fun.
That was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we went to the one in hey,
Aw.
Kika, yo Kika, it's Friday. Welcome to Real Estate Unwrapped.
Welcome.
So,
Buenos dias. Welcome. How's everybody doing today? Hello.
Good.
amazing.
Oh my
man,
God, what a
great
week.
stuff.
I don't have enough
What an
time.
amazing week. I'm having an amazing week. You know
I
how
love
is.
it. I love
The
it.
weather,
Kika
the weather
brought
has
it
been
up.
so good. I love it too.
Kika brought it up.
what-
How was the expo? How was the expo?
It was
you got-
phenomenal. Honestly, I got a lot of content out of it, a lot of information. Got to meet new vendors out of this, which is
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Reacquaint with
A lot of vendors.
reacquaint with people
Yeah,
who haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
I felt like I
that's
knew half of the room. It was like funny. I mean, half of the room, half of the stadium. That was
Yeah. I'm
people.
not that
You know, I
famous.
met like I don't know. I reacquainted with like hundreds and hundreds of people. It was fun, man. It was nice.
it was
I'm not
good.
that
It was
famous,
good.
but,
I mean, especially when you.
Okay, let's look.
when you've been in
Hi,
the business for a
Patricia.
Yeah, hello.
Hey,
Good
Patricia,
morning.
good
Especially when you've been
morning.
in the business for a while and you get to see people from 10, 11,
Yeah.
whatever years. It's actually
Yeah.
amazing to see folks like that. And, you know, going back to the vendors, you know, honestly, you know, we all have a certain pocket of vendors that we work with. But getting to see what else is out there, I like that. You know, I want to speak to them, see what they can offer you. It was really inspiring to me. So
No, it was very nice. It was nice. You know, it was good asking these vendors the questions, right? Like if you have
Yeah.
something specifically that you're going through in a transaction, it was pretty cool to ask questions and see what their responses would say, you know?
right.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
But
I had a good
You know
time.
You know,
one thing that was great too. Have you noticed, guy, the quality of tchotchka those vendors
Tchotchke.
brought in?
Yo, let me tell you about them tchotchke. What you call them? Tchotchkes? I call them tchotchkes.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Did I
Tchotchkes.
miss that
People
one?
call them tonterias.
For a little local fair, oh man,
Yo,
they stepped up, right?
yo.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. You know, how many times you go to a table and you just want to pick up what they have instead of talking to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like what you got
Yo,
there, but
I almost
you got
took
some good information.
I almost took the cornhole games. I was like, oh, can we take this? Oh, no, you can't take that. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, like the wine people. So you know what was funny? Some of my agents like grabbed me from across the room, like you gotta come, and you know with all these vendors, they have to meet you. You have to exchange card. They have to come to the office. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, well. I go there. It's the guy that does the wine closing gifts.
Oh,
And it's 8 o'clock. It's 8:30. I was there early, and I'm like, can we try? They're like, no. Fortunately, we cannot open the bottles. This is just perfect.
I walked over there and I was like, oh snap, they're giving out wine. And I walked up to the little sample cups and they're full of peanuts. And I'm like, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
But from what I told them, I know the thing ended around 4. I was like, I'll be there 4:01. So make sure you have some bottles ready to go because I'll be back. Anyways, but look, you know what's a good thing about going to these events?
Good morning, Abdul. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
So what's cool about going to these events is that one thing's for sure is, you know, having to actually follow up, pick up the phone and follow up with some of the vendors to see if you can actually have some coffee with them, get to know a little bit more about what's going on.
Yep.
All the old agents that you got to meet, see if you can actually reconnect with them, see what's going on, re-network with them as well. You know, a lot of things as far as a good follow-up game really happens when you're in an expo like that or in the networking event. And I can tell you that, you know, there's a lot of folks that are just doing the one thing and they're afraid to pick up the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Which leads us to today's topic. Today's topic is really, I mean, since I've been doing this for so long, I'm not saying I've always been comfortable with the phone. I'm not saying I am comfortable with the phone. Because you never are. You always get jitters, before you do cold calling. You want to make sure you don't mess up or anything, or when you even. I mean, no. Overall, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's all in your head. But the amount of people that are terrified, paralyzed by the thought of having to have a phone conversation in this business. It's amazing, amazing. And you have agents that are thriving by barely even picking up the phone. That's not, for prospecting and stuff. It's pretty amazing. But today we're going to talk about overcoming phone phobia, fear of getting on the phone, fear of the phone communication. And we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Gen Zers and late millennials, because you know what, you guys have a problem.
No, I don't think listen, guys, I don't think it's a problem. It's technology, and we're starting to use it to the point where we're trying to save time, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, it's quicker for me to subconsciously, it's quicker for me to send you a text message than it is for me to get on a call with you. You know what I mean? The other thing is, hold on a second. The other thing is this: when I send a text message, right, you're going to ask me a question, or vice versa. When I send a text message, you're going to be like, oh, let me think about how to respond to this text message. And then you respond, and vice versa. So that's the only thing. I think I feel like it's like I'm saving time, less, I guess, less conflict if we're bumping into each other. And then at the same time, when it comes to the response, I believe, in my opinion, it gives you the ability to think about how to respond to the question that they ask you.
Okay, my turn. How about this one? You call. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys can empathize with me, but sometimes I like to talk to my children, and I am not a helicopter mom. And my kids are women in now their early 30s. And what do you make up of? You call your kid once a week and she's like, Mom. She texts you back, Mom, I don't feel like talking. Text me. And I'm like, that's a generational thing with me, where I'm like, I'm having a hard time. Yes, you can get some stuff across, but then no, you're losing in translation the intonation of the voice, the emotions, the laughter, the anger, the sadness. All that is lost if you're not at least on the phone or in person. Right?
I agree, but I believe that we would much rather have that interaction in person than on the phone. It's like you video chat, right? I FaceTime my parents now. We're kind of gearing into this, but we'll keep it short. I FaceTime my parents now. It's not the same as me physically seeing them, number one. And then number two, it's like now it's just trying to get accustomed to like being on a phone, trying to talk to them, and then they're doing the same. You know what I mean? But I would rather spend that time in person, talking face to face. And yes, to your point, seeing the expressions that they put, the way they emphasize on what they say, of course. But sometimes we're in the middle of stuff like life, right? And we're just trying to figure it all out. So anywho, let's go ahead and jump into the
go, and let me go back at the beginning of the slides.
Okay.
There we go. Let's
Kiki
get
said, in her defense, I love talking to people.
There you go.
There you go. Well, she loves talking to people. She likes to spend the time on the phone. Yeah, she's one of those. She's what do you call that? A late. What is she? 1992. So that's still a millennial, or she's into? Yeah, she's like a.
Wow,
she's not a Gen Z yet. Yeah. So
my sister was born in 92 also.
I
think my sister was born in 92.
Yeah. Oh, you see? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. Ed, you could be my son easily. We know that. We know. All right. So you're my little son from work. All right. It's okay.
uh,
It's okay. I own my
we all refer to you as the real estate mom.
That is true.
yeah, it's fine. It's
That is true.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
all right,
goodness.
numero
So
uno, guys. So we based those slide off of a nice article that has that is from what is it called, HubSpot, which is like a blog about business in general. And they had a nice article on phone anxiety and how to get over it, and had a few steps that people could take to actually overcome it. Okay. All right. Now,
okay.
number one. Let me ask. Yes, Alex is here now. He's starting conversation. He left. Let's start with
Better.
numero uno.
I was about to say something.
I know. He realized that, and he had a. It's look. We're all working. We're all
The
trying to do-
audacity, Alex.
Right.
Nice
Right.
one.
Anyways.
Start by picking up the phone. I know it
That's what he
sounds
did.
very.
He picked it up. Good
very-
job, Alex.
I know. And you know what? Like, I would admit sometimes I'm guilty of this. I mean, I'm glad we're having those screen calls where your phone is going to tell you possible spam, and I sometimes answer those because you could have somebody completely out of area that is calling you. Yes, a lot of the times it is spam, unfortunately, but I like to somewhat pick it up as much as I can because I don't want to miss a beat. I don't want to miss an opportunity. I don't want to, like delay client communication or potential customer, communication. So I think it's building a rapport right away is very, very important. So for all of you millennials and Gen Zer out there, pick up the call when you're in real estate. It could be someone looking to buy or sell. You never know. Don't let it necessarily go to voicemail unless you have to. And this is that's an advice. I know it may not be comfortable, but that's an advice I have, especially when you're into sales. What do you think, guys?
No, I agree, but we just got a comment on the bottom. I'm gonna read it.
So Francine, someone has she says her phone actually shows up as spam as well sometimes. So I get it. I mean, it happens to me too.
Yeah, you probably need to call your provider. Yeah,
right. It's all really is. But I guess I agree with that. It's honestly, I tend to get a lot of these spam calls. I get a lot of these phone calls, but this is our business. This is the way we should do. Just pick up the phones and figure it out. And obviously, there's that little notation in the sense of if it's a spam call, if they don't answer within 2 seconds, it's going to be a spam call or somebody calling you for some kind of business. Because once you say hello, the next person will say hello right away. Like a real person, per se, will say hello to you right away. But picking up the phone, I think it's, for me, when I first started in the business, I wasn't really doing B2B calls or any kind of phone calls like that. However, my heart was, really pounding hard. It was like, oh my God, I got to pick up these phone calls. I got to, call somebody. I got to talk to somebody. I got to make this business. And, what I found is that doing these phone calls, especially when you're doing the prospecting phone calls, like the expires as an example, is I made up this entire mindset of, my God, I got to make this phone call. I got to get this thing going. And then when I dialed the first two numbers, they were wrong numbers anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I had that phobia of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, what to say. So really the resolution behind that is doing a couple of role plays or practice your scripts in that sense. Because once you get to the sense of certainty and confidence of what what you're going to say, it doesn't matter what phone calls you make. So just picking it up can be really easy. You're speaking to a buyer, you already know that script. You're speaking to an expirer, you know that script. You're speaking to a for sale by owner, you know that script. Investors, you know that script. So just practice on those scripts, and believe me, that's going to work for you later on.
Yeah, and we are in the communication business, and you can't, you have no other way. Like you have to when receiving phone calls, pick up the phone. You don't have to know all the answers. Sometimes you cannot even assume and get scared, like, let me not pick up because they might ask me something I don't know, and I've heard this so many times. You let the call come in, let the person talk, and then you'll figure out. It's always easier to
Correct.
say, let me get back to you on this later, than not having any communication at all.
Correct.
Numero dos. So when making, like, we're in this phone business. So, and we're talking about basically talking to our contacts, talking to our leads. Number two is plan for multiple touches in multiple ways. What do we mean by that? We mean that in order to get in touch with someone, whether it's a prospect, whether it's an existing client, whether it's somebody you plan on working with, or somebody who has contacted you through your website and has a couple of questions or just showed some interest in the property, plan to be able to contact them in different ways: phone, text, email, DM, social media, LinkedIn. You're going to have to find ways to get in touch with them in many different ways. Sometimes the phone is not their priority. And as Coach Jared James would always say, is he's always saying, find their language of love, which he means by that is like, find the way they communicate better. Some people will initially contact you by phone and would rather receive emails because they're at work, and it's very difficult for them to pick up the phone on personal phone calls during the day. So an email is much, much easier and less disruptive for them. So find out the best way to communicate with them. That's my little take on them. You guys.
Yeah, I like it. Well, the only thing I'm going to add is, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in and you have any interesting stories to tell as far as your phone phobias, please throw it in the chat box. Let's discuss it, because there's a lot of things that we're scared of. But I want you to know that we've all done it. We've all been there, and let's talk about it. All right. But I'm really not going to put anything else into this, Gigi, because you've already answered it. But yeah, I mean, just plan for those touches, set them up, increments,
Yeah.
I think there was a statistic, right, that they had said prior to that you have to literally follow up with people almost 19 times before you'll actually connect with them, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like
anywhere between 9 and 15 times would be an average.
Right.
So so a lot of the trainers out there would tell you on any prospect, like Mike Ferry would tell you 3 touches and they're out. You don't even need to just toss the lead out. I don't necessarily agree, especially in this day and age, especially with and we've been trained by Michael Coach Burt, so no understanding, like you being persistent and trying to contact the person in multiple ways. Anyway, it's going to show that you're number one, you're persistent. Number 2, you're about business. And number 3, once you show all those qualities, it's much easier for a prospect to see the value in hiring you for whatever they're trying to do in real estate, whether it's buy or sell.
I remember being at a seminar where they had spoke about it, where it was a specific way that they were touching up. They were like touching on and following up on these individuals. But what happens is people, right? Like, how many of us, this is hilarious to me. How many of us set up like 5 different alarm clocks for like 5 different times before they actually have to wake up?
Really?
No, I don't.
No.
Right? Mind-boggling, right? But there's people out there that do that. For whatever reason, they set up multiple alarm clocks almost to get them ready to wake up at the actual time. Right?
I don't have problems sleeping. I have problems waking up. I mean, lately I wake up before 6 because the sun is up.
We're considered now from the 1900s, the late 1900s. I want you to understand that.
Okay.
So for us, we're still functioning like that. But for the new generations, for the people that are going out there to purchase, first-time home buyers, they're literally in their 20s to 30s right now. You know what I mean? A lot of the and that age is a different generation, right? But what is it? They do it. So what is it that he was trying to get to was that people set up these things, and you have to be the same exact way, right? Think of yourself as the alarm clock. You're the notification that pops up on their phone every time you reach out to them. Even though they don't pick up, they know your number already because of the amount of times you've called them, right? They see your email pop up with the subject information, right? New properties on the market. They see you consistently following up with them.
Yeah, you stay top of mind. Yeah,
you stay top of mind. So they literally know, but they like the fact that you continue to do that until they're ready to pick up, right? It's like the snooze button. They keep hitting it up until they're ready to make the purchase. You have to be that alarm clock, because that's the only time they're going to follow back up and say, okay, I'm ready to go.
Wow, a lot's going through my mind while you're saying that, but I get what you're saying. That's good. I mean, we can end it with this real quick. Honestly, when I read this in the sense of, one thing's for sure, for those who are out there, think of a nice little base way of looking at this is the 5-5-5 plan of calling. 5 people 5 people you don't know, okay, and 5 people you met in an event, like an open house, expos, so on and so forth.
At the store, at the gas station, anywhere. Right? Yeah.
If you take that sort of plan every day for yourself in a small baseline way of doing it, you'll be able to actually call 15 people within the course of a day. Okay. Based on your business, you can always amp that up to 10, 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, so on and so forth. But use that as your baseline, and that really works out for you every single time. So.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next tip. So this one, it might seem like, I know it's redundant. We're talking about time blocking all the time, but dedicate calendar block each day. That's going to be for you to make your phone calls, whether it's prospecting, time block for prospecting, time block for follow-up, and time block for those 5-5-5. And Alex, I'm so sorry.
Cagdila, come on, man.
I know Alex is laughing up, and I'm like, dude, we're in the same room. I gotta do this. Sorry, I got distracted a little bit.
It's
okay.
All right. So
dedicate some time blocking times for you each day to make sure that you're actually reaching out to the people you need to reach out to.
Yeah. You know what this article was saying? It was saying that 50% of the initial meetings require more than 5 touches to set up anything, to get a conversation going, or them telling you they want to work with you. So that requires, and again, back to what we were saying, 11 or more touches. All right. So calendar, time management, again, super, super important in your success. And that's also the fact that you're prepared. I'm sorry, Israel, I'm going to finish up. The fact that you're prepared is going to help you overcome that fear. We talked about knowing the scripts. We talked about having a little plan set up, the 5-5-5, and we're talking about time blocking.
And which is funny, you're saying, Israel, do that. I just got a call, and I'm like, this is my time right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's my time blocking as we speak. So it's like I got a call, and I'm like trying to set it up as we speak.
Yeah.
Because of that.
So again, time management, like super, super important. Prospecting, and we're talking about making a phone call in general. So that includes prospecting. We should have a specific time. Follow up, we should have a specific time. And then, of course, yes, you should be able, like sign calls or people calling on some ad.
Right.
Unless you're doing your prospecting, yes, it's going to be hard to pick up the phone right away. But if you could have like one of those automatic answer on your texting service, saying like, for me, I just press I am, and it has a whole little paragraph saying, I'm so sorry, I'm in a meeting right now. I should be able to call you in an hour. Does this work for you? Yeah. Or if it's urgent, please text me. Done. So with 2 letters, you're able to set up automatic text, and at least you did not answer, but you're able to communicate in a different way.
Yeah. Most iPhones will have that. They would actually have that. So.
All right. So this one is number 4. Again, planning, work with intention. Make sure your interruptions are valuable to your prospects. What do we mean by that? So especially if you are prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you all know that anyway. When you're calling those people, you're going to interrupt them. Make sure you have value added interruption. Okay, because it is still an interruption. If you're going to call at 7 o'clock, people are in the middle of dinner. So you're going to make sure that when you're engaging with somebody, you're going to have something interesting or something compelling to
Or
say to that person.
or or if you're showing up at 7 o'clock, you bring dinner. Okay,
That's right.
Or you're
that's very
calling them
Some
and say,
valuable.
wine
next
or
time I'll
something.
bring
Yeah,
something.
some
Yeah.
wine and dinner. That's valuable,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah. So added value. So that's going to be, again, preparation. We're not talking about, we're not going to go over techniques on prospecting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But even when you're following up, if you're going to call and say, uh, I'm calling because just want to follow up. You know how boring that is. You know how non-valuable that is. So again, we've done follow-up trainings. We've done
Mm-hmm.
in our offices follow-up trainings. We've done prospecting training. But when it comes down to that, valuable content, when you're going to say something to someone,
Yeah.
you need to be prepared with valuable content. It's not just information. It
Mm-hmm.
could be, like with somebody having a timeline to buy or something interesting or even selling. You have to always call the person with having in mind that you need something to tell them that is going to help them solve the problem. When we're saying problem, it's not a problem, but it is like they're looking to buy, they're looking to sell,
Yeah.
and we're there to help them solve that problem, whether it's to buy or to sell. So you'd better come up with something
So
of value pertaining to that.
so I think what's
Nice.
important about that is that once you establish what type of content you're speaking to,
Yeah.
using the ABC format, the ones that are ready to go, your warm leads and those who are just in the wind or looking around, that would actually help you guide exactly what you want to say to them. The ones who are ready to go, hey, listen, interest rates are looking great. I think we should hit this market really quick. Are you ready to see this unit now? Are you ready to see it later? What
Mm-hmm.
needs to happen for us to move forward? If it's one of those that are just your warm leads or I'm just waiting for something, you know, hopefully you have a little personal rapport with them, build something out of that and build some more information with them. I remember we were looking at 2 bedrooms. How close are we now to get into that to level of actually buying the 2 bedrooms? You're not that close? Okay. What do you need from me to help you, become a little bit more closer?
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. And then you just build on from there. But just make sure, and the great thing you just said there is if you're going to call, I mean, I usually do my follow ups around 5, 6 o'clock if I don't have any appointments. I make
Yeah.
sure that I'm speaking to them at that time. They're coming out of work. They're not engaged on other your family events or whatever. So I make sure to call as many as I can within that time to get whatever I need to get done with them. So
Yeah. Anything to add, Mr. Ed? Mr. Ed. It's like
No,
the
listen.
horse.
whoa. Okay
Hey,
now. Wilbur.
hey. So look, if you've been tuning in, Gigi.
This is so corny. It's hilarious. Oh,
Oh
look,
my God. So look, as we're coming to it, right? Look, you're planning for multiple touches in multiple ways. This is gonna help you figure out the what it is that's really important for the consumer, right? Or the customer, the client, whoever they're gonna be, right? So through those multiple touches, you're gonna figure that stuff out. And when you dedicate a calendar to block each day and you do that persistently, you're gonna realize that you're going to start following up and pulling that information and putting it together. All right. So that when you make those interruptions, now we get to delivering the stuff that they're really interested in, right? Because that's going to help you build up to this moment. You're building the momentum to get to that point where you're going to actually say, hey, you know what? Let's set up a time to meet, right? Let's
yeah.
figure out a time to sit down so that we can discuss, how to help you figure out what areas you want to live in, how to look
Right.
for the right properties that meet the criteria that you're looking for. Let's have that consultation. And too many of us don't like to have that consultation. Too many of us are scared to do that. but don't be scared. You have to figure out a way, and you're going to. You just have to, again, make sure that you're touching on these people all the time. And that's how you're going to get the information.
All right. Now, next. Sorry, I'm also texting people that don't understand when I say I'm live on Facebook. They're like, can you call me now? No, I just told you. All right. And that ties into what we just talked about. Delivering content that's relevant to our prospects. Okay. So that's going to be, again, when you're going to make those prospecting phone calls or anything, please, when you're talking to a for sale by owner, you want to make sure you solve their problems, like, why haven't they sold for, again, having the scripts will help you delivering that content that is relevant to them. Asking the correct questions, which you have in all those scripts, whether it's the LP mamas, whether it's the for sale by owner, expired buyer, so on and so forth, sellers, pre-qualification scripts. All those questions that are in those scripts are relevant content to those people, and use that. All right. Don't try to freestyle on the phone. I don't, because I'll come up with some stupid stuff and I'm just going to mess myself up. All right. And once you know those scripts, I know you know those scripts, the type of questions to ask, your pre-qual script, you're not messing up anything. You have like a guideline, right? Yeah. And then what this article was saying, you're becoming more fluent in basically that business conversation. You're able to listen more, that's what it is. Like, the skill of learning scripts is for you to become more proficient in your communications with your prospects. That's all it is.
Yeah. Very true. Very, very true.
I know. I feel like I'm screaming this all day long. All day long,
well, I mean, guys. You're right. Honestly, the last thing you want is whatever prospect you're speaking to is for them to say, what in the world do they want from me? What was this conversation about? Why are they even calling me? Mm-hmm. You want to basically have a conversation, or at least content in there that at least they came out with some sort of source or information from you, that you are at the top of their mind at the end of that conversation.
Yeah. So organize. I think you should have a library. You should have a binder, or you should have a folder on the computer, a library of scripts for different type of prospects and different type of situation. Even if, even those objection handlers are scripted and you have them available, it's all over the internet. Like Mike Ferry has like 40 objection handlers, Tom Ferry the same. You want Kevin Ward, you lose Kevin Ward. You want Caruthers, what's his name? Ricky Caruth.
Ricky Caruth, yeah.
Sorry, not Caruthers. Ricky Caruth is the same thing. So please use that, which ties into another one. Prepare bulleted notes or have a script. That's definitely
there it is.
I know, and that will remove the fear of, oh shoot, what am I going to say next?
100%.
Oh my god, and you're not even going to have to worry about, oh my god, what I'm going to say. What if this sort of go left and so on and so forth, and I don't know how to answer. Well, if you have a script or several scripts, whatever you have in your pocket for whatever situation, it's going to teach you how to be in charge of the conversation. Then, yes, sometimes things might go left and, the seller may have an objection in the middle of stuff or interrupt you. But most likely, you're going to learn how to take control of that conversation. That's all it is. All it is.
I mean, it says it right there. Words are powerful. They hold something. You ask the right questions. Just keep something in mind. Yeah. Just keep something in mind. Scripts are there for questions. It's about the person you're speaking to. It's not about the statements you're about to give them, because it's all about you. So use it.
Even if someone calls on the property and it's not your property, you know how many times people call me and it's not even my listing?
I've had that, yeah.
You should be prepared to answer those phone calls without having to, I don't know. Like, it's very easy to convert into a question, having nice questions and conversation about that particular prospect's need, because ultimately the property, they may not, it's there, yeah, sometimes they want to see it, sometimes they don't even want it, it's not even what they thought it was, and they just called because it looked good on the computer, or they had
Yeah.
whatever they had in mind, they thought it was something else. So a lot of the time it's not what they see, it's about what is their need. They called for a reason, and they people like you, and you have to
Hmm.
empathize, and you have to write again. Having those scripts will help you decipher what's their need. How can I help them? How can I solve the problem?
Yeah.
Once you understand your value and your position in life and what you're doing, the value of what the service we're providing, conversation gets so much easier. And people are
Absolutely.
people, they're human beings with a beating heart, with emotions, with desires, with family. Everybody must have a parent. If it's they don't have parents, they have siblings. Or if it's not, they have adopted family, they have friends, just like you and I. That's all. Blood runs through their veins. That's all it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, and that's honestly, you said it too. That's removing the fear. Because
Yeah.
once you, we're the reason why we're all scared is because we don't know what to say. We don't know
Right.
the questions they're gonna ask. We don't know the answer to those questions. We don't
Right.
even know how to respond. We don't even know
Yeah.
about the property. We don't even know who they are. Or sometimes I don't know who I am. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what goes through our
We don't know
minds.
where we are in space. I
You don't know where
know.
you're standing. You don't know what time you got up. Like literally, that's what's happening, and you're physically building a barrier in your mind. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
it's all in our head. Yeah,
it's
but
all of
you know,
this, everything you mentioned, all the tips that we mentioned right now, up into number
uh,
6 and 7 as well. This is everything to help put you into that role, that mindset,
yeah,
that position,
Right.
right? Once you set up your time, and I know we mentioned it before, but once you set up your time, you're going to realize that you actually have more time available than you think. But
that's.
no,
I
it's
know,
You
I know,
do.
I know,
100%.
You
I
If
do.
you
know. Yeah, yeah,
physically
it
time
is.
block everything to
Yeah,
take care of your
yeah,
chores, your daily activities, right? Think about it. We talk about prospecting. Can you take 2 hours out of your day? What's 2 hours out of your day? Right? Like it's nothing. Once you get it out of the way, you now have time to do whatever else you have to do,
to talk to
right?
some more
That's right.
people.
Right?
That's 40 hours out
But
of the month, if you think
but
about it.
Yeah,
that's what it
yeah,
is. How many people can you potentially contact and build a relationship with
yeah,
over the course of a year if you literally just sat there and did it
yeah.
2 hours a day?
Sure.
Oh,
I mean,
Francine, I gotta put you up on this because Francine
okay.
is just do it. So Francine is being coached by Israel. Yes,
Let's do
Francine, just do
it.
it. But I know, and it's tough. That's a tough one. But it's
Francine
Nike.
wants to
Just do
make it
it.
happen.
You don't have to be good at doing it. Of course, at first you're not gonna
So,
do good, but just do it.
You'll
You don't
get
have
good.
to.
yeah.
If you keep on
You
doing
don't
it.
Let
have to
me,
do
You
it for.
keep on doing it, you'll get good.
You don't have. And
I
when
mean, I'll
you,
take a two
yeah,
second thing with Francine. And what I like about this, I've actually been speaking with Francine for a couple of weeks now. Her scripts have been getting better and better. They're not skipping. They're within flow. She sounds like she has a certainty behind the scripts, which is amazing, and we're building on that. And the one thing that got to me is we just had this conversation is that she's making the phone calls.
Hmm.
And she's not afraid of the phone. She's willing to talk to people. She's willing to see
That's
something.
it.
And she's planned herself to say, "Hey, I want to talk to a certain amount of people." And this is the reason why you do script practice and role plays. And one thing's for sure, we don't have this on number 7, but one thing I want to bring up is I'll bring it up later is accountability. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to phone phobia. So we'll talk
Hmm.
about it later.
right. There's something added. No, it's true. We could have added that. Yes, but let's not
Yeah.
scare our public right there because
No,
accountability is
no,
that
we don't.
huge,
There's no
big
scaring there.
boogeyman. Boogeyman. That's the boogeyman.
There's no scaring.
No, listen,
All
it's
right. So embrace the hold, and I just went verbatim with what this article was actually
oh
discussing. So that's what we were talking about. It's just going to tie into what we were talking about earlier, having the scripts and having the answers to stuff. And then yes, sometimes you don't have the answers. Sometimes, more often than not, I don't have the answers. And I'm gonna admit to you on a lot of the things that I do in my prospecting life with clients, with people buying, selling real estate, and with talking to agents, because again I manage and I speak to agents, and we're trying to grow a business there. They're saying embrace the hold. It's okay to just shut up 1 second, to just reflect and say, hold on, let me think about your question, and 1 second, and just reflect on it. And it's okay to say I don't have the answer.
Of
And
course.
I thrive. I think, and this is why a lot of people like can gravitate towards me, because I am not afraid of being vulnerable, and I'm not afraid of saying I'm so sorry, I don't know everything, I'm so sorry, I don't always have the right reaction, I don't know what. So I think it's an asset to again show your human side, your humanity.
Mhm.
It's okay, you can't know everything. Not everybody is
Im-
expecting you to be this
Impossible.
robotic person that's going
Right.
to spit out answers, and no, it's fine. I think to me it's okay. So you can be scared of
100%.
what they say and
Yeah.
start assuming like, oh my God, I won't have the answer. No, we don't even have the answers all the time,
Yeah.
I think
and
it's
huh?
yeah. I was going to say, and I think it's important. Don't fluff the answers too, because if you don't know
No,
it, don't try to fluff it like you know it, or try to be too word salad about it. They try to go around it. If
right.
you don't know, you don't know it. Just
And
keep it.
but what's going to save you from that conversation is if you really have listened to your prospect, if you really had listened to the other person on the other end of the line, if you really had empathy. They don't mind if you don't know the answer, but they just want to be heard,
Hmm.
Right.
right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
So that
1,000%.
value added proposition doesn't have to be in anything. Oh, I don't have any listings to show them, I don't have any effects. No, but you listen to them, you're asking the right question, you're truly interested in the person you're talking to. Your value added is you're having a good heart as a person and saying, here, am I going to deliver the right service for these people?
Yeah.
And it's like, even me pausing for a second, that could be value added, because you're not blabbering out of your mouth. You're actually giving a thought to what is being told to you. And I think that's part of active listening,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
100%. I like, in the embracing of the hold as well, what I think is good is if you need a moment to think about the answer, and you might know the answer and you just need a second to think about it, boomerang it to them, right? I don't know if it was you guys or another place where I learned, but you basically hit them with another question, right? Like if they tell you something, you respond back and say, "Hey, that's a great question. Tell me, why is that important to you?"
Or you just
Yep.
could repeat the question. Let me go over that, and
Yep.
you say, oh, they need this and that. Like, it's okay to repeat the question. That's going to
Yeah.
give you time to think about it. It's okay to say, let me think about this for 1 second.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, you know what, you're catching me off guard, I'm not even ready to answer this. Or, you know what, I can't answer you right now, or I personally don't know, but this is what we can
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
Or let me
Yep.
make sure I understand your question properly. And that
Yep.
is part of the communication. You have to really work on the skills of active listening, using the scripts.
Very important.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Being
Yeah.
truly
Repeat.
empathetic.
Approve.
Yeah, yeah. Repeat, approve. And that's what they're giving you, all those techniques, but it's for you to do it in a conversational way. It has to become your second nature. Repeat, approving. Those are not just robotic stuff.
Mhm.
Like when we're having a conversation with friends, you want to validate them. Sometimes you're going to disagree, but still with the respect, still with like, I'm hearing you, but this is my point of view, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Just like you would do with a friend. Same thing, same thing.
Correct.
So in the
Absolutely right.
end, the phone is not that scary.
It is not.
No.
It's absolutely not. And you know what? Let's end it this way. So, this is a great topics. 7 ways of actually just getting the fears off. But you're never by yourself when it comes to that. You're never by yourself on being on the phone. You're never by yourself on being fearful, being near the phone.
Hey, you know what?
Find
I have
yourself.
one ad thing stupid to say. You can hide
Okay.
behind the phone. because nobody's gonna punch you in the face. You know how much,
True.
like in personal
True. You're not
conversations,
gonna.
like
True.
the stuff that you could say that you would never say in person. I'm not saying in business it's a whole different thing, but the phone is that wall of protection.
It is.
So it's okay, it's fine. Why not having conversations? They're not always going to be great conversations. You're not going to be a great listener always, but that phone is that shield,
Yeah.
Of course.
it's
Of
okay.
course. So
Yeah,
again, I mean, the best way to again try to end this, and the one thing we could have added is accountability and role play. And you pretty much just grab other agents in the areas, those who are new with you, or those who you know that are seasoned and are willing to work with you. Just do some accountability partners, having groups, so that they can help you get to the next level of being on the phones. Practice and role play with them. It only takes half hour to role play. It could take up to an hour, depending on who you're doing it with. But just grab a group of folks will be listening to how you're going to be on the phone. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're all human beings, and we're all going to listen to the same way. So, role play, listen to each other, record yourself. Wait. Hold on. Record yourselves, get yourself to the point of don't be fearful. Because honestly, one of the things for sure, some of us will get on the phone and we think that we sound horrible. So record yourself and adjust yourself as you're going along. Because I can tell you right now, what you're fearful is really a mindset. And once that mindset is gone and you see how much productions you're really making, then you'll be in a perfect status for yourself. Go ahead.
I just got an idea that popped. That's why I raise my hand. I'm like, let's make sure, like I don't lose that thought. What don't we have another live stream about the essential scripts that every agent should have in their toolbox? Why don't we go and just go over the stuff that all three of us have been using that are really, really essential in our business life, and what we've been using and what works? And just go over an hour or less than an hour of which scripts we are using for what, and make sure like everybody who's listening to us would build a library of scripts.
Of course. Absolutely.
Right? Let's do an essential scripts that we've been using in our daily life as real estate agents.
Absolutely.
I think it would be good because you know what? A lot of us out there don't have, unfortunately, the same guidance, the same support that the three of us, just us. It's already like an extreme support to one another. I think it's amazing.
Right.
We on top of it, we all have offices that have a lot of training support and so on and so forth. Yeah. Amazing. But a lot of us in the industry don't. So, it
I agree.
would be good if, yeah. So let's do something like that where we can share our essentials.
Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, the anthem is out. The music is on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us for all this time. I hope you got some good knowledge, some good information, some good gold chicken nuggets on that as well. This weekend is going to be a fabulous weekend.
Happy Mother's
Day. Happy Mother's Day. Please, who's the MVP? Who's the MVP?
Yeah.
All the mothers out there today. I'll say that.
Oh, let's give it to Francine today. Let's give it to Francine.
Yeah, let's give it to Francine, MVP. Yeah. You go, girl. So definitely. I want everybody. Oh, happy Mother's Day. There she says right here. Let's see if we can put that up for her.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day, Gigi.
Thank you so much.
So, you got
happy
it?
Mother's
Okay.
Day,
So
Gigi.
fantastic. I want to wish every mother, happy Mother's Day, every family out there. Okay. And look, for those who are having open houses, go on through. I'm sure you can go there for at least an hour or two. Just check out some new houses.
Yeah.
For you guys, I'm going to be busy this weekend myself, but I wish everyone a productive and a fabulous weekend this weekend. All right. So
no problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for everyone for being here.
All right. Thank you again for a great session. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Take care.
Adios.